In the fall of 2009, the foundations of SEPA were remade. Sweeping curriculum changes came with an even more momentous breakdown in the social structure of SEPA. Freed from the ideological divisions of a hard econ requirement, MIA and MPA students were finally able to commingle as equals. Ancient hatreds were set aside, and Dean Coatsworth declared the end of history. But triumphalism was to prove short-sighted. In the ruins of degree bipolarity, the 37 concentrations waged a bloody war for survival. Once great concentrations were annexed, reduced, or eliminated altogether until only 6 remained. The battle lines have been drawn. For SEPA, the end of the MIA-MPA Econ division does not promise peace, but a clash of concentrations. A loose alliance of like-minded concentrations once set the agenda for the school. This alliance of free spirits, made up of economic and political development, human rights, and urban and social policy, dominated SEPA events and had come to believe that their values were shared by all the concentrations.
What is your concentration?
Economic and political development.
MEPD.
Snowdrop. Human rights.
Do Dump Marry, Jeff Sachs, Dick Betts, Richard Robb.
I would do Dick Betts because the man needs a hug.
What's your favorite class?
We have classes.
What are you doing for your internship?
I have gotten together, I've made a partnership with several beverage companies, and this summer I will be traveling around rural parts of Africa with the Juice Box and Hugs campaign.
What does sustainability mean to you?
It means doing it for the children, not with the children.
Have you ever met a USP student?
What is USP?
My friend had USP last summer and it was rough. He needed a heavy course of antibiotics.
What's your favorite Millennium Development Goal?
I would have to say unicorns.
But the Alliance's belief that capstone workshops in hemp clothing would win over all the other concentrations was naive. International finance and economic policy and international security policy threatened to reshape the world as SEPA knows it. IFEP's fascination with economic growth and financial strength, but disdain for sustainability or human rights, makes its rise a grave threat.
Do Dump Marry. Dick Betts, Richard Robb, Jeff Sachs.
I'll just marry whoever's the richest, dump him, and do the hardest.
Rob, and Rob. So obvious to me.
Tough choice.
What's the price of a bond maturing in 2 years with a yield to maturity of 0% and a 6% per annum coupon?
115. Come on, guys. I mean 112.
你们去中央公园的时候，最喜欢做什么活动？
我喜欢去那边野餐，还有听演唱会。
我觉得中央公园里面很多人带着他们的宠物去转来转去，在那里散步、奔跑，我觉得这种场景特别让我喜欢。
我会跑步健身，保持身材。
Energy and environment is increasingly torn between the conflicting ideals of EPD and IFEP.
What is your concentration?
International Energy Management and Policy.
I believe it's called Energy and Environment.
When I applied to SEPA, it was IEMP, which, in addition to being pithy, is highly marketable. Standards have fallen.
You know, I totally disagree with that statement. I'm so glad that SEPA has seen the light and decided to pursue a green path and incorporate, sustainability into its curriculum, because energy and environment is so directly linked.
They are so directly linked. There's oil under everything. Children's hospitals, holy sites, wildlife preserves.
What is your favorite source of renewable energy, Sim?
I have to say it's wind. It's everywhere.
Second only to Dung, I'm sure. I would have to say long-term, oil. Short-term, coal.
I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Behold the power of wind. Where did it go?
A more immediate threat to the old order is ISP, a concentration fascinated with terrorism and nuclear weapons, but with no love for economics. ISP's most powerful influence on the student body is their control of the shadowy Sapasa network.
What does sustainability mean to you?
What? I don't know what that is.
That I can last all night.
If you had to choose between Sapasa duties and your concentration requirements, which way would you go?
To me, there is no difference. The merger of both will lead to a great organization known as CPASP.
Would you torture a baby to death for peace?
Only if the baby was younger than 2 years old.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't live with myself.
How about to get out of the stats requirement?
I tried.
So what are these vote cutters for?
Part of my responsibilities within the ISP concentration on CPAS is to kind of check lockers randomly, make sure there's no subversive books on the premises. Effectiveness of the UN on the margins. International law, no such thing.
Those are all development books.
Alright, this interview is over!
Separately, IFEP and ISP spread will drastically alter the landscape of SEPA, but the ultimate threat would be an excess of convenience between the two. If ISP and IFEP join forces, can anything stand in the way of these two rogue concentrations?
Professor Sachs.
Call me Jeff.
Jeff, do you think the IFEP and ISP concentrations will join their forces to rule the SEPA community?
It will be a powerful combination. However, they don't take the same econ classes. You see, the finance people take the econ analysis and the security students take the other one. You see, we say that the two classes are very similar, but really, academically, emotionally, philosophically, I would venture to say spiritually, the gap between the two is just insurmountable. I don't think these two groups can coexist peacefully. Their alliance would be doomed from the very beginning.
The future of SEPA is still in flux. The rising concentrations will claim their place, but whether this means a new order or other chaos is still uncertain. Only a commitment to tolerance, networking, and cross-concentration hookups can prevent the clash of concentrations. The clash of concentrations.